morning, everyone. My name is Caroline Bednarz, and I am one of the beta testing teachers for the National Geographic Certification Program for Educators. For my capstone project, I actually did this early in the year because I wanted to introduce students to geographic inquiry and how it is that geographers actually execute and conduct geographic inquiry. So I borrowed this idea from a teacher that I saw speak at the National Council for Geographic Education. And what I had students do is I had them start with a geographic question, which in this instance was what is the best burger in Washington, D.C.? Or where is the best burger place in Washington, D.C., I should say. So the students then, for about 6 days, they conducted this data analysis they conducted this data collection. And they surveyed 15 people, 8 of which I asked them to be adults so that they get a broader range than perhaps just the students with whom they go to school. And they were recording this information in a comma-separated value file, so just an Excel file that was saved as a CSV file. And we used the online GIS technology program ArcGIS to then feed that data into ArcGIS and create 2 types of maps. We created a graduated symbol map and we created a choropleth map. Now the point of this whole activity is to truly help students understand what it means to think spatially. So once we have that map, we actually have those data points, and we're able to analyze those data points. And this is the piece of the puzzle that was really where the maps were really the key to the activity, is that seeing the visual representation, particularly the graduated symbol map, where you got the much larger symbol to represent the number of votes that each one of those burger places received. That visualization piece is really what helps students understand how geographers truly conduct that spatial analysis. So I asked students questions for them to describe the distribution of the burger places in DC. And this is turning out to be an excellent activity because our high school in particular is a magnet school from the Washington, D.C. public schools. So when we draw from a wide range of students, meaning that the students come to us from all over the city, we've had a nice distribution itself with various factors as to why that particular locations are getting more votes than others. So this is sort of our introduction to geographic inquiry, our introduction to geospatial thinking and geospatial data. And lastly, what was important to me is the use of actual GIS technology, given what an important role that plays in the work of geographers in 2015. So here is a quick look now at some of the work that the students have created and the students in action. Thanks so much. Difficulties on the recording of the actual session with the students, but where I can pick up the discussion here is I can show you some of the maps that the students were able to produce. So right now we're looking at one of the students' maps from the Best Burger Survey. This was the graduated symbol map. So this was the beginning, this was the map that the student created, and from this map they were able to then conduct the analysis of which geospatial factors would have most influenced this map. Some of the students got pretty creative and they were able to add in some graduated symbols, which you can see here. Let's see if I can cut on this, take off the, there we go. So you can just see they were able to actually implement, got a little fancy with the technology, and were able to use specific symbols for the graduated symbol, which was pretty cool. So here you can see just again a product of the very first component of our GIS and spatial analysis. Now the whole purpose, what this was then ultimately channeled into, is this was channeled into a discussion about population. And the reason being, I mentioned this already at the beginning, but I was really looking for both students to engage with the GIS technology and to then implement this technology in their analysis for population. So I wanted to then show you that once this was the ultimate product, and that the Best Burger Survey was fantastic, got students using GIS technology and geospatial thinking. But really what I wanted them to then do is then we did a project about world population density. So I was able to then provide the students, and this is one of the maps that they were able to, I guess create is a little bit of a stronger word, but they utilized the layers features here of the ArcGIS program to then ultimately conduct an analysis of world population distribution. And once students were acquainted with the concept of scales, once they were able to switch out their base map and add in different layers, as you can see here, it was a powerful sort of punch almost in the visualization of population density. In a way that really only the brilliance of the colors here and that the layering aspect that really can illuminate. So students were using first this world reference layer, and they had 2 different options for their land scan And then the world reference layer was used because we were then able to draw connections across the population distribution of the world and the geographic features that drive much of that population distribution. So, fun way to start off the year with the Best Burger survey to get acquainted with the geospatial analysis. And then ultimately, we're able to channel that all into the true geographic inquiry and thinking that we modeled with the Best Burger survey and then finalized here. So that is it for this capstone project. Thank you all so much. And I look forward to reading and seeing all of your capstone projects as well. Take care.